recording?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so we were supposed to have the guest, Dee Brooks, on. However, she just had to reschedule, so she's going to be on next week. So we did get some questions in the thread, so we're going to kind of just we're going to ask the questions, and then any of the leaders on here, if you want to just chime in and give us some of your tips for those specific questions. Also, a lot of the questions were about, like, sealing the deal, about, like, signing distributors. And so I invited two of our rock stars to just kind of give some tips, Caroline and Morgan. So I will have you guys talk in just a little bit. But before we start this, I actually want to just talk about the boot camp, the mini boot camp in Vegas really quick. There's a mini boot camp March 10th in Vegas, and Pam Satter is going to be there. Stephanie and Joel Dunn are going to be there. Dr. Dawn is going to be there. And there's, like, so many of us top leaders. Christy, myself, Paris, Jocelyn Yates.
It's going to be lit.
Yes. So if you haven't bought your ticket yet, please do so and just make the trip, because I promise it will be worth it. It's going to be amazing. Okay, here's paper. All right, so let's just get started. So, okay, hold on, my son. Mom lights. Here you go. All right, so I have the questions here, and like I said, a lot of them were about sealing the deal. So if you guys if you have any questions about sealing the deal or anything like that, just listen up, because you're going to get some awesome tips. So first one, how to seal the deal after the initial, I'll have to let you know, or I don't have money. So Paris, Christy, Tiffany, anybody wants to chime in on this, but how to seal the deal after something like that. Most people, they do not sign up right away. And that means that they go on your 100 list. That means that you have to follow up with them. You hear...
Sorry. Choo-choo. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Oh, my God.
Okay. No. It's fine. It's funny. It's fine.
I just, like, throw toys. I'm like, just please, give me an hour. Okay, so anyways, most people, they do not sign up right away. And so that's okay. A lot of the times they get on our 100s list, we follow up with them. How you seal the deal is by keeping that relationship going. You follow up with them. Don't just put them on your list and never follow up with them, which I feel a lot of people do, because they kind of feel maybe rejected at the beginning, but that's okay. Even now as a presidential, and I know Christy as an ambassador, not everyone signs the first time. We follow up with them, and that is how you eventually will seal the deal. You post, you keep that relationship, you follow up with them every month or 2 weeks. Mason, please stop. Yeah, so go ahead, Christy.
Okay. So for me, and you know what, if you want, Caroline, you can answer this question too. After I'll just kind of give my little tip. So that was something too, I think it's important to know, not everybody will join your business. Like, I can honestly convince anyone eventually to join the business, but that doesn't mean they're going to do anything. So that doesn't necessarily mean they're right for the business. But it's something that I've always said for the longest time, is that you have to realize not everybody will be a part of your business, and that's okay. You just offer it to everybody, you follow up with everybody, and the ones who will. So for me, sealing the deal is making that connection. If they say, I don't have the money, I say, okay, here's a couple suggestions. Like, if you want, try to sell something that you're not using, or you can, borrow the money from your mom and tell her that you're going to give her the 4 wraps in your kit. Cause that's like what I did. I told my mom, and she wanted those 4 wraps in my kit. So I'll give them like a couple suggestions, and then I'll just encourage them. Hey, listen, these are the suggestions. This is how you can make the $100, but this is going to change your life, and I want you to know that. And the reason I do that is because sometimes I feel as though people have the $100, but they're just not ready yet. And that to me means that I haven't shown them the opportunity that can change their life just yet. So for me, posting every day is kind of like a miniature follow-up. It's kind of like a miniature sealing the deal. I don't go crazy with my posts, and they're kind of like indirect, but that's something that helps seal the deal, because when I'm following up, they'll be like, yeah, I saw your post. Like, I felt that same way. So for me, that's kind of what it is. And I just try to make that connection with them. I just try to say, hey, listen, like, I get it. I know where you're coming from, but this is going to be fun. Try to come up with the money and we'll get you going and I will help you every step of the way. And then, you know, throughout the time of following up with them, I'll just try to get to know them, you know, like you can get to know 50 different people, you know, each day by just saying, hey, Stacy, like, I saw that you just went to Utah. Like, that looked like so much fun. You know, you don't live there, do you? I don't know, whatever. That's a dumb question, but it doesn't make any sense. But you know what I mean? So, you know, just for them to say, whoa, like, she actually said something specific to me. That's the biggest thing. So that's kind of like really what I do, you guys. And, you know, you kind of have to just have the spirit of having fun and just enjoying it and not letting any negative or any bad in, because when those things creep in, that's when you will slow down. Okay, so Caroline, do you want to answer that? Oh, I think yeah, go ahead.
Good now?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Yeah. So, I think you like kind of touched on it, but one thing, I don't know where I heard it. It was like, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And I really think that, like, when you're talking to people, just be you and be excited, and they'll feed off of that energy. But really, like, if somebody's not ready, I'm not going to force them or push them into joining my business, because they're probably not ready and they're not going to work it and get the most out of it that they could. So if somebody's like really not ready, then I'm just like, okay, yeah, like, you're going on my list and I'll keep following up with you until you are ready, or you'll see one of my posts that I'll kind of like cater to you and you'll be ready then. But I'm already moving on to the next like 10 people, because I'm not going to like slow down and just keep dragging it out. But I also don't really do the thing, like, unless it's been maybe, I don't know. I never really do the thing where I'm like, if you're really not ready, can you tell me and I'll just stop bothering you? I just keep bothering.
Yeah, I would never say that.
I think I learned this from like a Jocelyn Gates video or something, but I always ask, like, if I can tell they're really on the fence or struggling and not sure, I'll say, you know, like, I want you to ask yourself, you know, what's the worst thing that can happen by jumping in and doing this, and what's the absolute best thing that can happen? And usually at this point, they've already told me their why, so it's kind of like reigniting that why in their mind. Like, yeah, the worst thing that could happen is I spend $99 and I make it back, and by selling my wraps, and then I just be on social media posting about it, and maybe it's not my thing, but the best thing that could happen is that it could change your life and you could do all those things that you just told me that you wanted to do. So I think that kind of helps them see that, like, their why is so much bigger than any, you know, small fear of maybe bothering someone on social media or being rejected 1 or 2 times or something like that. And then, sorry.
No, sorry.
Something else I'll say sometimes is like, it's just, you'll never know if you never try. I feel like people, it just always clicks with people when I say that. Like, you're never going to know if you never try, but you'll always probably wonder. You'll probably be watching still and wondering. And then they're just like, yeah, you're kind of right.
And it's done. Rainbow guys.
It usually takes following up though, but yeah.
Well, Caroline, can I ask you a question? So you sign a lot of distributors, like, every month. You're very consistent with it. How many people do you talk to a month, like, on average?
I mean, probably at least 50 to 100. Some of them are follow-ups, but
a month?
I would say, yeah.
50 to 100.
Okay. No, yeah. So she talks to a lot of people all the time. So it's not like she's saying the perfect things that every single person talks to, you know? So.
No. I just, like, offer the business to everyone. Like, somebody tells me they don't have money for something, I'm like, oh, well, why don't you try selling the products and using them at the same time? Or, like, I don't know. I just offer it to everybody, no matter what they're telling me about. Like, why don't you try it?
Yeah, and that's what it should be, because you know what? I've heard so many of like ambassador stories or triple stories, and they half of the time, I swear, their story starts with like, I was going to be a customer, but then she said, do you want to make money too? And I said, yeah. And then I became an ambassador. Like, poof, you know.
And it's only so, like, 40, it's only like what, $40 more. Let's say they want to buy the wraps, $40 more, and they're going to get the Fit 5 and like all kind, like 5 wraps, you know? So why not ask?
Especially now, yeah.
Right. Oh my gosh, that's genius. If somebody wants, I post about the cleanse all the time, and I have people always ask about the cleanse. Like, for me to just say like, oh, but for like $64 more, you can totally become a distributor and get 5 wraps and a bunch of other awesome stuff. That's really smart. I'm gonna write that down. Which is funny because like I think it's just different now that we have the cleanse. I don't know. Okay, let me.
Caroline, do you have anything else with that?
Not yet.
Okay, I'll come back to you. So now we have Morgan. If I'm saying your last name wrong, is it Susser? Susser? Sorry,
so
I don't know.
Really quick, you guys, write that down. Write down what Caroline just said. I used to say that, and you know what? I stopped saying it. I don't know why. What's the worst that can happen, and what's the best that can happen? Write that down. That's like a seal the deal, like golden ticket. And then I also say like, well, if you don't try, you'll never know. Like they're like, what? You're right. But sorry. Anyways, I want you guys to like take stuff from these trainings, not be like, oh my gosh, that was awesome. I spent an hour listening to them talk. Sorry. Yeah. I'm done. I'll mute myself.
No, that was awesome. Thank you, Caroline. Okay, so Morgan's actually very new to the business. So she's been signing distributors too. I know that she's overly charted Ruby now, and she is rocking it as a new distributor. So I want to hear from her, and I'm sure everyone else does. How do you seal a deal? How do you get those enrollments?
Is that good? I'm unmuted. Okay. All right. So pretty much this is, I mean, it's kind of crazy that I'm even talking about this because I am so new. But when I am thinking about, am I annoying people? Am I talking too much or saying too much? And then I instead of me thinking, because when I first started out, I'm like, wow, I'm messaging everybody. Nobody's, either I'm getting ignored or nobody's answering. I would honestly take it super personally. I'm like, wow, I just spent $99. I'm not gonna make any money back. Nobody's interested. And that's before I started showing my own personal results. Then people were excited because I was excited. And then I started to think to myself, why do you think you're bothering people when you're literally giving them an opportunity to make so much money and better their life? Either better their life by getting healthy or better their life by making money, or both at the same time. So for me, I was like, I went on following sprees like no other. I would sit there and I'm like, oh, her profile picture looks cute. I'm like, okay, she looks like she's got a lot of friends. And mostly the people that had a bunch of followers, sometimes, you know, they won't answer you right away. So when they start seeing your post, they follow you back. And then when they start posting about you, like a host to post, I don't know if you guys would know about that yet, but it's when you ask somebody else to post about your business, then all of their friends, even though may not be distributing for you, they are gonna see what you're doing, follow you, and then maybe become a distributor. So for real, just honestly, like my mindset was, get over yourself. Don't take the whole high school, the mindset of like, what I want to say, you're annoying people. Something that, or basically, I think that's pretty. Like, I thought I was annoying, messaging all the time. But then I was like, get over yourself, be fearless. I know that was on a big thing that Paris kept telling me, like, just be fearless. What do you have to lose? Like, why not message people? Why not message that person? Because the person that you're like, oh no, she looks like she's gonna just be mean to me. She doesn't look like she's gonna answer me. That could be the next person that signs 2 distributors and gives you your bonus. And so I was just like, I got fearless. I was like, okay, yeah, I saw that. I knew this girl in high school. She wasn't very nice to me, but I'll message her and see if she wants to do it because I don't care. And I think that she might be great at it. So pretty much that was like, for me, I had to get over the whole personal thing of it. I had to get over being getting sad over people not answering, and I was like, okay, then when you message, to be honest, I message a lot of people a day. It's kind of crazy. It'd be like, if I message 25 people, those 5 people that are giving me the conversations that I wanted, and they're actually interested, and they were like, okay, well, wow, that seems cool. What's the startup fee? I just make sure I tell them, okay, yeah, it's gonna be $99, but this is your opportunities to make more. And normally when you say that, people are like, oh crap, so I'm not gonna be losing out on much. Or then they think about that. So and then you keep posting and posting, and I feel like for me, when I watched Paris, I don't know how the heck we even started following each other, but
Everybody always says that, but we know how. You just don't know how.
I say, like, I saw her, and she contacted me before I even contacted her. She said, hey, I think you'd be good at what I do. I said, oh, I don't know, because I don't have a lot of friends left from high school. I don't have a lot of friends in general, and I live in a small town. But for me, I had to go bigger than what I knew. I had to go bigger than the comfort zone, for sure. I had to just get out of my comfort zone and just do it. And that was the biggest thing for me, I guess.
You are so cute. How old are you?
19.
I just love it. I want to like I'm only 25, but like I feel like an old lady.
My heart is like racing so bad right now.
No, like you're awesome because one, like you're young. So I like to have the diverse, amount of people and whatever, but you're new. You're new and you're killing it. And majority of the people on here are new, and that's what they need to see.
Yes. But I obviously had every single question in the world to ask Paris, but I had no idea till I put myself out there and just went for it. I'm like, okay, I might not be making the money this month, but maybe next month I will if I tell people I'm making money. So I'll just go for it. I'm like, okay, yeah, that works. If I'm working my butt off and it pays off, then I know that what I'm telling people is going to be true.
Yes. Okay. Man, you're getting so much love in these comments.
Oh God, I didn't even look at it.
No, I love it because like you're new, you're just like, yeah. And you know what? What you said is what completely changed my business. When I started having belief in the business and the product, I stopped worrying about people telling me no, because I can ask anyone to be a part of the business because I believe in the business and I believe in the product. So I don't have that fear. If you guys have a fear of messaging people, it's probably because you need to build your belief in the product and build your belief in the business. You're awesome. I really like you. You're going to do awesome.
I would just say, like, the haters are there. They're going to tell you you're crazy. They are full force going to say, you're whatever age you are, why are you trying to make that type of money now? Everybody could use that type of money now. You have college, you have car payments, you have all that stuff that is just ringing on your life every single month. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to change your life, and if you don't want to do it, bye.
Yes, I love that. Okay.
No, girl, you're awesome. Seriously. And what's the worst they can say? No.
Yes.
But then they go on your follow-up list and they will always say yes later.
Yeah,
okay, so
guys, sorry. I was just going to say personal results will build your business. Period. End of story. With customers and distributors. It just will. Even if you're pregnant, figure something out. Be like, hey, mom, I'm going to make you use these products consistently so I can be like, this is my mom, whatever. Anyways, sorry.
No, that's all right. Okay, so I swear a lot of these are about sealing the deal. So that was awesome. Thank you guys. The next question, though, this is a different subject. How to keep your distributors successful so they stay and they make money as well. So I'll just say something really quick. It's not up to you whether or not they're successful. It's really up to them. If they want this, then they're gonna go for it no matter what. They're gonna work for it. They're gonna ask you questions. They're gonna find the answers themselves. They're gonna research. They're gonna trial and error. I mean, they're gonna do things and learn from them, but they're gonna keep on going. So don't be so focused on helping your girls be successful, because if you are helping them, if you're leading by example, and you're doing their trainings and you're telling them about the Monday night trainings, or, you know, going over things when they have questions, then you're fine. You know, if they want to be successful, then they're going to find a way. And so it's not up to you whether or not somebody is successful in this business. And it sucks when like you want them to be so successful, like for them, but they don't do anything. You know, they don't put the effort in and they don't work for it. And that, it sucks. It hurts sometimes, but it's not your fault.
Yeah. And you guys, I just kind of an example, like, for example, the way that I treated Stacy was the same way that I treated other girls that are no longer in the business. You be there for them. I think it's important that you try to create a real friendship. If you can create a real friendship, if they're going through a hard time, they'll come to you. But also your excitement will feed off of each other daily, weekly, whatever it is. If you can build that real friendship, like that's how you help them reach their potential. But again, it's still their choice. So I just try to create a real relationship with them. And then the second thing is like, if I am like, oh, wow, this poll is working. Here, do this poll. Okay, here. I tell all my new distributors, like any messages, any comments, any likes, anything, let me walk you through the conversations, because like I could say it this way. And if you say it this way, like they might not quite understand yet because you don't quite understand yet. So like I walk them through the conversations. So like, honestly, it's just kind of being there for them and showing them what you're doing. One of the things I learned in the beginning of this business was huge. People said like, they were like, you just need to enroll. You just need to enroll, teach them. Some will do something, some won't. And it has been so true. Like I train everybody the same. I'm there for them, everybody the same. I follow up with them always the same. But like some will take off and some are like, bye. And I'm like, okay, bye. So you really just never know. And then keeping that relationship like longer term, you know, like for example, Eliana, like she started making tons of money with her timeshares, but because I still kept that relationship and I was like, hey, if I'm ever here, like if you want to come back, and that kept that door open. So I always keep the door open because it might just not be people's times at the first time you talk to them. So there's those things, but if you're actually breaking it down, if you want to help your team be successful, make sure that they're getting their fast starts. That's like, sounds really simple, but if you are a brand new distributor, or let's just say you have a brand new distributor, if she signs someone and she doesn't know that when that person gets 2 little customers and is, you know, qualified for commissions or whatever, that you get $100 or they get $100, they're missing out on so much money. That is so important. Because in the beginning of the business, I wasn't making a ton on my paycheck because I was still kind of learning how to promote, bring in customers, bring in people, whatever. So I wasn't making a lot of money, but if I signed 3 distributors and then help them each sign 2 customers, whether they do it, I do it, we do half and half, whatever, that's $300. That's a lot of money that will be built up over and over and over and over with new people you bring in. So work with your team and make sure that when they're signing people, they're earning those, because that's going to be huge. But just be there for them. Just be their friend. Caroline or Paris or Tiffany, like, do you guys have anything you want to add to that?
Well, I just want to say one thing really quick. Okay. Christy and myself, because we've been in the business for a while, I mean, we pretty much have it set up for you to train your new distributors. Like Christy has her new distributor training posts, and it just talks about, either there's videos on there, it talks about what to do first. So don't overwhelm them with all these information or tagging them in all these videos, because that's going to overwhelm them and they're not going to want to stick around most of the time. But again, it depends on them. But if you just focus on one thing at a time, like for example, 4 LCs, like that is their very first goal, 4 LCs. Help them get them, whether you give them 2 and they get the other 2, just cheer them on as they're getting those. And I just wanted to add that before I forgot really quick.
I'll say one thing really quick. Yes, cheer them on. I think recognition is a big thing, you guys. Like, if you have somebody who's brand new and they're doing great, shout them out. Like, that's something to be excited about. But just remember, like, when someone joins this business, they're joining this business, like, for them, and you're not, their boss. So it's not your job to be like, hey, you didn't post today. The only thing that your responsibility is to lead from the front, and you need to be the runner that you want. So if you want someone excited and messaging people and posting and doing all this stuff, that's what you need to be doing, because they're going to copy you. So be the rock star that you want to be, and your team will follow you. The pace of the pack is the pace of the leader. So, if you're just like moping around and you just sign 3 distributors and you're like, I just signed 3 distributors, I don't have to do nothing, they're going to work. No, it doesn't work like that at all. If you're working your butt off and showing them what it takes to be successful, they will too.
Yeah.
I was going to say too, there was another question that kind of bounced off this, and I'm not going to say it, but, and I'm not going to call him out, but the person who asked this other question is not on the training, and it was about your team, how to pump them up, that sort of thing. If you're not even on the trainings, how do you expect your team to be on them? How do you expect your team to sign distributors if you're not signing distributors? You cannot expect people to do things that you're not doing yourself. So if you don't have your auto ship set up, then you cannot complain that somebody does not have it set up. If you if you're not signing the steps every month, you can't expect somebody else to do it as well. You can't ask them for that. So make sure that if you want, like Paris said, be the rock star that you want them to be. Like, go and sign people, but cheer them on and let them know that you are there to help them and you want them to succeed as well. And that is so, so huge.
Yes. My biggest pet peeve is when somebody says, I'm having a hard time, nobody on my team is working, and then I go to their Facebook and I'm like, well, what are you teaching your team? Because you're not posting. Did you do the message challenge? No, I didn't. I'm so discouraged. I'm like, it's a full circle. It is a full circle. If they're not doing amazing, then you stop doing anything, and then they watch that and they don't do anything, and then you're like, yeah, and then all of a sudden you're in this like dark hole. Like, literally, you guys, it's so simple. Message people and then be like, oh my gosh, on your team page, whatever it is, be like, oh my gosh, look, I just messaged 20 people. And then the girls on your team are going to be like, oh my gosh, let's do this. And then you all do it. And then all of a sudden, you sending out 20 messages, it not only helped your personal business, but it encouraged your team to do it. Like, I don't post my conversations and my messages on the team page just because, like, I'm trying to shout myself out. I'm doing it to show you guys that I'm still working, because I want to show you that, like, that's how you make money. You don't make money by having a really awesome, amazing post about your past success. I post those all the time, but like, that's not what actually brings in the customers and distributors. The messages is what actually does. But anyways.
And if you show your team, like, you'll see Christy post her screenshots of conversations, and I'll post them on my team page. If you're showing your team what you're saying, and even if it's like, she's not signing right now, but I have her in my calendar to follow up with her next week. Like, if you're showing your team that, then they're going to be like, oh, okay, that's simple. I could probably do that too. So just make sure that you're constantly just sharing with your team how simple it really is, but that you're actually doing the work. And when they see that you're doing the work, then they're going to want to do the work as well.
Yeah, boy. Okay. Do we want to
have anything to say about that? Because you're growing a big team.
Do you want to just kind of like, Caroline, if you want to like do your story and maybe like what you do daily for your business, just to kind of show everybody. Let me mute myself.
So my story, so I started like about 1.5 years ago, and really I just was following a girl who I met in Hawaii and thought that it was cool that she was making money by being on Facebook, and I was already on Facebook, so why not try it? And I feel like I had not really a slow start, but I just didn't really, I was just kind of lazy in the beginning. Like, I knew what I was doing, and I knew, no, my, Paris enrolled my enroller, I think. But yeah, I think I was just kind of lazy in the beginning. Like, I was doing what I needed to do, and I was happy with it. I've never been ungrateful about anything that I've made with this. But like, even my first paycheck was like $20 probably. And I was like, whoa, I just made $20 by just like playing around on Facebook all day. And that was cool with me. I was like, all right, well, I just signed my son up for soccer with being on Facebook. So then I just kept going. I think what I've done is I've just been super, super consistent. I've never gone a day without doing something for my business. Like, even when I was in the hospital having my daughter, I was like posting and following up with people. And I'm just super consistent every day. And I think that people who are watching me see that, and that's when you get those people who are like messaging you out of the blue, like, hey, I've been watching you for like 8 months, and now I'm finally ready to join your team. And you're like, oh, okay. I thought you like, I haven't heard from you in like 4 years. Okay. But, yeah, I've just always kind of seen I guess I didn't really see the vision maybe until I hit Ruby. And then I really started connecting and like getting on all the team trainings, and, kind of so selfish with I don't know, I feel like I was kind of selfish with my business at first, just because I didn't really see the vision of like using it as a vehicle to help other people too, and that you could expand so much with it. What's my daily routine? So I would say I know some people work in like dedicated like power hours, but my day's kind of crazy with like 2 little kids at home, like one in school and driving back and forth. So I would say I work in like power 20 minutes, and I don't really stress about like the organization of it. I'm just like, oh, I'm like making breakfast for my kids, so I'm gonna listen to like 30 minutes of like a YouTube on how to do something, like a training YouTube, and then like, oh, I'm popping popcorn, I'm gonna like follow 200 people on Instagram. And I just do it when I can. I don't stress about like have to do this here. I just have a notebook with me, and when I talk to somebody, I write their name down, where I talked to them, and what they were interested in, so that I know who to follow up with. And I just do the basics whenever I can fit it into my day, and then just live normal life with my kids and everything.
I love that, because that's exactly what I do, guys. I'm like not super organized. Like, I'm super organized when they're like signed, or when they're like a strong potential. You know, obviously I write everyone's name down, but that's exactly what I do. You just have to like ingrain it into your life. So for example, I made breakfast this morning. I went live while I was making breakfast. I could have easily not went live while I was making breakfast, right? Like, it's easy to do, and it's easy to do. At the gym, I always listen to like motivational videos or whatever. Like, that's great personal development. Tonight, when we were making a shake, guess what? Instead of just making the shake and being like, I'll work later, like, I went live and I talked about the product and the business. Super simple to just ingrain it in your life. I usually send out my messages when Ezra's sleeping, like in the afternoon, you know, like, it does not have to be as hard as you think it is. Like, whether you work 50 hours a week, you know, or 60 hours a week, whatever, you know, it's just like Jamie worked night shift, and she's a nurse-test or whatever. And she literally like would just work it into her daily life and just made it happen. Like, that's literally all you got to do. Like, stop overthinking it. When I see people on this team that are like, I really want this. Oh my gosh, I'm trying so hard. And then I look at their like Instagram stories for like a week and they haven't posted one thing or one poll or anything. I'm like, no, you don't want it. You're lying. You want $1 million without doing anything. Like, it ain't gonna happen. So like, if you actually want it, just like consciously be like, I should just post a poll right now. It will literally take me 60 seconds. Like, it's not brain science, you guys. I promise you, it's not that hard. It really is not that hard. Anyway, sorry, Caroline, I muted you because it was all like scratchy.
Oh.
Squirrel. But anyways, so Stacy, did you have anything that you wanted to ask her or Morgan or this?
I was just reading over the questions again. They're all so similar, but I want to ask Morgan. There's a question here that I think you possibly answer for everybody because you are newer. And if anybody who is newer wants to chime in, please do. But the question is, how do you find people who are interested when you first start your business? So, Morgan, I want you to kind of answer that for us.
Okay. All right. So, you guys can hear me. Is that good? Sorry, I just never done that before. So what I do, obviously polls are great. They literally tell you who is interested and who is not because they have the choice to put yes or no. But on my polls, I really won't give them a choice to say no, because who wants to see how many percentages people say, no, I don't want to do your business on it. So I put like, do you want to make $500 or do you want to make $1,000? Then you just literally message every single person that votes whatsoever. I don't care if they, if you hate the person, you just message them. And then for me, I obviously have had like a weight loss journey. I'm still on it 100%. I gotta get back on it, whatever, but doesn't matter as long as you post about what you're doing. And then some people will just message you, but when you are excited about what you're going through, am I still on here? Okay, yeah. Then the people that even just like your pictures, I'll message them. So I know it's kind of like a thing that's been lost, but hashtagging, I will hashtag a little bit. And so if I hashtag like, not really it works, but I'll do like weight loss, journey, just something like simple, so I can get just like random followers. But mostly if those people are coming to you, if they're liking your picture, they're commenting on your stuff, be like, hey, do you want to try to do this with me? Or everybody wants to lose at least 5 pounds, and that's just like even the skinniest person. So I would just ask them like, do you want to do this with me? And then I think that's basically it. That's how I find people that are interested. Even if they're not telling you that they're interested, once you tell them, pretty much they are interested in some type of way. So that's all I really do. I think the people that like my stuff I tell about, or the people that I will see, like I said, I just go through. So the people that like my picture, I go to their page and I follow the people that like their pictures. And so pretty much, yeah, I'm just going for it hardcore. I put in the comments down there, like, if you believe that bonus is yours, then go get it. If you think to yourself, why would you start this business when you're like, oh yeah, I just want to start this to see if I could do it. No, you should really think that you can do it and then go frickin' do it. That's really it. I don't really know.
Girl, I love that. I love your mindset, and like, I love it. I think too, when you first begin, people think it's harder than it really is for people to be interested. Maybe people won't be reaching out as much, but if you are faking it till you make it, which I know Morgan is really good at, she claims it before she gets it, but usually gets it. So I love that. I mean, you just have to jump in and be confident and just do not care what anybody says, and just think that, like Morgan said earlier, you're giving an opportunity of a lifetime to people, and you have to be proud of that and not care what anybody has to say.
And you guys, just to kind of add to that, I do the same thing now that I did 4.5 years ago. Literally, I add people. I try to build a relationship with either messaging or interacting, and then I offer the business, and then I follow up. Like, whether you have 100 followers on Instagram or 50 friends on Facebook, it's the same. It's so simple. You add, you interact, you message, you follow up. It's very simple. I think the biggest thing is just that you might have to learn how to do is post. You have to learn how to post in a drawing them in way, a not super salesy way, but, you know, just sharing your daily life, like, you know, just keeping it simple. And there's a million examples from a million awesome leaders on this team that you can go and like look at how they do things. And there's a pattern. There's a pattern. Bright pictures. We don't do green, black, and bling like it works logos all over. If you have it works on your profile, I would take it down. I am proud of what I do. I say it works in all my videos and everything like that. But if you add someone and the first thing they see is that you're a part of a business, they might not even give you the time of the day. So, you know, I think that's honestly like the biggest thing that you have to learn. But besides that, like the adding, the messaging, the interacting, like that's all the same. That's all the same. You just have to share that excitement. Like voice message, Sydney, she messaged me and she's like, oh my gosh, I use voice message and it was life. And I'm like, girl, I have been telling you to use voice message for like a year. And she's like, she was so excited and I was so excited. I'm like, yeah, because when you do voice message, you like have to be excited, right? Like you have to like force yourself. And it's just, it is life. It is like, it shares like your excitement with them. So do voice message in everything you do voice message for real. The times that I can share my conversations with you guys is usually only because they don't have an iPhone and I can't. Lacey said voice message intimidates me more than lives. Well, get over it. Either you want to be a diamond, I don't know your goals. Either you want to be that or you don't. If you cannot share with them how excited you are through text messaging or through just typing it out, which I know nobody can as much as voice message, then you need to just suck it up. And I promise you, just like Sydney, once you do it and you have awesome results from it, you're going to be like, that was the most amazing thing ever. Thank you so much. That's what everybody does. They do it. On Instagram, you guys, like the second I message somebody on Instagram or someone messages me on Instagram, I tell them, hey, I never see these messages. Can you text me? I want them on a phone. I want them to see I'm like a real person with like a real phone number. I'm not just an Instagram. You need to think of your own hashtags because if we give you hashtags, you're going to be using the same hashtags as all of us. But for me, like some examples would be like, I don't know, park. If you're at the park with your kids, I don't know.
Anything, but
yeah.
Find followers from people that you're already following, like their friends and their friends, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like you get more relationships that way because you have somebody in common, even though they don't know how you know them, because you probably know. They're like, oh, well, she knows this person, so cool, I'll add her. You know,
right. Like so often, just like what who said it? Morgan, I think. People are like, wow, like how did we even connect? Like, I have no idea how I know you. And I'm like, you don't. Like, just like I'm teaching you right now, like, we were complete strangers. That's why I want you guys to understand, like, complete strangers. It doesn't need to be any harder than that. There's like, I looked it up. Gosh, let me look it up again. There's 100 million people on Instagram. Okay. So try to tell me that you don't have people to talk to. Let's see. And then there is, I think, 1 billion or like 10 billion on Facebook. How many people are on Facebook? There are more than 1 billion people active on Facebook and 100 million users on Instagram every month. Okay.
a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. And we're open in like friggin' 19 countries. Like
22, I thought.
You know what? I've been saying 19 for like the last 3 years, so it's probably 22. I have no idea.
Either way, it's happened.
Yeah, but anyway, so I'll stop talking now.
Okay, so last question I want to ask Caroline, and anybody else who wants to add in, but for Caroline, what would you tell yourself if you were talking to yourself, what would you tell yourself when you first started this business? Did that make any sense? Oh my gosh. Hold on. What would you tell yourself when you first started the business, if you knew then what you know now?
There we go. Okay. I would tell myself, it's hard. Like, don't compare. Don't stress over comparison. Don't look left or right or behind you. Just like look forward, and don't worry about what anybody else is doing around you, because their timeline matters nothing compared to your timeline. Like, what is a timeline? Who cares? Like, if you look around you and you say like, oh, like this person's moving so fast, or and I'm moving so slow, well, like what's fast? Like, what does that mean? Like, if you were doing this solely by yourself, like in a box with your phone, how would you ever know what fast was? You would just be going. You would just keep going. And I feel like it's easy to get caught up in comparison and wondering why, but then that's when you start to slow down. And if you just like put your blinders on and keep going, don't worry about negativity, like just go and know that your time will come if you just keep going. But if you stop and slow down and question and let negativity creep into your mind, like you are going to slow down. Like it's just going to happen. And then your team's going to slow down, and then you're going to have to either like start all over, or like you're going to have to pick yourself up out of something that isn't necessary, because your time's going to come. And then the other thing I would say is just be like so confident. Like don't hide anything. Just be you and be confident, because your confidence is what's going to seal the deal for you. Like if you can share any amount of excitement and confidence, and like other people said, fake it till you make it. And that's not saying like be fake. Don't be a fake person, but just like be the ambassador diamond that you are in your mind. Like talk to every single person like you've already made it. Like you have the best gift in the world to share with them, and you would be doing them a disservice by not sharing the products or the business with them, and make them feel like they have to be a part of what you're a part of, because you're just so positive and happy and excited about it that they're missing out if they don't become a part of it with you. That's it.
Yes, love it. And I'll just add really quick what you were saying. I would just tell you guys to just stop waiting. Stop waiting for like the right video to watch where you get like all kinds of tips. Stop waiting for, someone to tell you what to do, or like the perfect distributor to finally sign on your team. Stop waiting for all of that and just get to work. And, being on these trainings, I love to be I look forward to Monday nights, because it's like a personal development for me. And I love seeing your faces and like seeing who wants to learn and who wants to succeed, and like be on it, but get something from it and apply it every single day. Because I know I apply these things. I wrote down like so many things from Caroline and Morgan. Just apply it and stop waiting around for someone to just do it for you. Because if somebody does it for you, which I've helped people to their promotions, but it doesn't mean as much to them, and they are gonna quit because they just they didn't really have that passion and they didn't really work for it. And so just do it yourself, and be yourself. Like Caroline said, like I have been with the things that have happened in my life. I'm not negative about it, but I'm very open and raw about it, and people really look up to that and they are inspired by it. And I never thought that I'd be like inspiring people, but I get messages a lot, or like random people saying, I love watching your journey. Like I've been watching you for a while, and like you're killing it, and like you have your head up. Like, I love those things. So if you're yourself and you have your own little brand, and I mean, you're just consistent with it, and you just stop waiting for the right time and for the right people, then you are going to go far. And I just wish that I could pick all your brains and just, I mean, like, go in your brain and just tell you can do this, because you can. You know, I was once a brand new distributor who doubted myself, and for a whole year I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and Christy was like, come on, you can do this, you can do this. And then she finally was like, you know what, whenever you're ready, I'm here for you. And that's when I was like, oh crap, she doesn't need me. Okay, now I'm really gonna run. Like, I'm going. And since then, I was like barely a Ruby. Since then, I haven't stopped. I went diamond, double, triple, presidential, and I just keep going and stop comparing, and you just stop waiting and just do it. Just do it.
I'll add to that. You know, you guys, once you hit like diamond and above, well, actually, no, Caroline's not a diamond. Yeah, you are a diamond. That's dumb. Sorry. Morgan's not a diamond yet. But you kind of just like talk a lot. Like, it just naturally comes out. But something I'll say is that I believe that, you know, I did have a slow start in the business, you know, whatever. I didn't sign a customer or a distributor for 3+ months. It was like 3.5 months is when I signed my first. Okay. So if you want to like compare yourself to somebody, do it to me, and then be like, yeah, I'm going to be like ambassador in a few years. It's going to be awesome. But the thing about me is that, just like Caroline said, I never looked left and I never looked right. And I think it's because I didn't know anybody in the business. I just was doing my thing, and I just thought, cool, I'm going to get there. Like, I don't know how long it's going to take or whatever, but like, I'm going to get to diamond, then I'm going to get to double, and then I'm going to get to triple, you know? And I just took steps and I learned, and I didn't look around. I didn't compare myself. And I kind of just had this mindset, because I was talking to Erin yesterday, and I was like, what is it, you know? And it's kind of just this mindset of just being like, I'm a bad A. Like, you just have to have that, like, I'm a bad A. Like, I'm going to make it happen. It's going to happen no matter what. And like, period, end of story. Like, people need to join my business because I'm going to change their life, and people need my products, and I'm going to make it happen, like, no matter what. And you just have to have that like mindset. And that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it fun, because when you talk to your team and you're like, you're awesome. No, you're awesome. You know, that's what your day should be like. You should be having fun. If you're not, find yourself like an accountability partner where you guys are just like, yeah, you're awesome. You sent out 50 messages. I'm going to do 60. Woohoo, you know? But anyways, like, you guys get on these trainings, and I never had trainings. I never had anything like that. And that's okay. Because clearly, you know, I figured it out. But like, all you guys literally need to do is like offer the business to people and then follow up with them. Like, it is not rocket science. Like, just like Stacy said, I think the biggest thing is stop looking for your motivational moment. Like, I know some of you guys are like, on Wednesday, you're like, oh, I'm so excited. I think I'm going to get like super motivated on Monday, you know, and you're like 4 days away. Like, you can't do that. You know, you got to be disciplined each day, and you got to just do it regardless, and stop waiting for that motivational moment. I was talking to somebody else, and she was saying something about motivation. I was like, you know what's pretty motivating? Signing someone. When I force myself to sign someone, then after that, I'm like, yeah, like, I'm pretty freaking motivated to like message 20 more people. You know, you get that excitement and that like thunder, and you're like, woohoo. So just do it. Like, just go, you know? And you guys, I'm sure it's in Stacy's page too, but like, in the Make It Happen page, like, there's all sorts of stuff. If you're like, how do I hit my first rank? And you're like, oh, that's Ruby. Oh, okay. And you like search the team page, Ruby. Like, there's videos on how to go Ruby. If you're like Emerald bonus, there's videos on how to get the Emerald bonus. If you're like signing customers, there's videos on signing customers. There's tips on signing distributors. Like, there's friggin' everything. But it's literally like, add, interact. Hey, Amy, I think it'd be great, the business I do. Let me tell you. Okay, great. Sign up. Woohoo, whatever. let's do this. You're rocking, I'm rolling, whatever. And then you do it again with people over and over. It's very simple. But anyways, so Stacy, do you have anything else? No?
No, the questions were all pretty much the same. So yeah, I'm excited to see you guys put some into action and enroll.
Yes. 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 Tiffany's amazing. Savannah's amazing. Yeah, actually, my goal this week is to sign 3 distributors and 2 customers. I already told Jocelyn, which is my accountability partner. But anyways, guys, make sure you have your goals in front of you. Make sure you say them every day. I'm like huge with like manifesting it, you know. But so I hope you guys have a good night. And if you don't have any other questions, we will wrap this up. Cool?
Bye, guys.
All right. Look alive.